What's up?
Hello, hello, hello. How's everybody doing?
So we are definitely not late because we were watching videos on Twitter. That's definitely not the reason why we are late right now.
Why we were late. But happy Friday, everybody. This one's probably going to be a little quicker. There were some things I wanted to touch on as far as some drama going on in Cardano, but I'm really just going to touch on them lightly and then laugh a little and then give you the opportunity to look at them more. But
I'd say hit them hard. Does one of them have to do with that post that Nemo posted earlier today?
No, but I don't think so. But we'll see.
Like usual.
I was gonna say, that's what I figured. I did want to start with, because we were talking about this yesterday. What do Vienna sausages and Goose Island beer and the Pope have in common?
They're all German Jews.
They're all from Chicago. They're all Chicago.
I would have thought something else like Portellos or Giordano's or something like that. I've never heard of those other things. Well, I'm from Michigan. I've never heard of those other things.
Goose Island beer is pretty good. Vienna sausages.
Well, I've heard of Vienna sausages, but they're not from Chicago.
Vienna hot dogs. Sorry. Well, there we go. I want to touch on that, but shout out to everybody. How are you doing, Desert? How are you feeling?
Long day, tired.
I feel you.
And you know what? I got to get this off. I'm disappointed, Daniel. I know you're watching because you were the first person to chat. Disappointed, bro. This morning when I had nothing to do, I asked you for a DGen play in Discord. You said you were going to look into it, and you never gave me one, bro.
Damn.
Look, Marcus pumping.
Daniel's out there on his yacht and letting you stay poor while he does all the DGen plays.
Just out there fishing in the ocean, doing nothing, being lazy. You know, come on, bro.
Arlen.
Yeah.
Sheesh. No, shout out to Daniel.
My bad. He was golfing.
Yeah, the other pastime.
Right.
Yeah. So when he's not golfing, he's deep sea fishing. Shout out to Daniel. He's a legend. Yeah, that's funny. I would say besides that, man, it's Friday. It's,
and the market's flat. I mean, we're down maybe 0.5%. I haven't refreshed the data, but still, I mean, good, making gains, getting that little retracement. Are
we still over 100K?
Still over 100K.
Yeah.
Just getting that little retracement, we pumped too fast over the past couple of days. We got to come back down a little bit. I mean, that's just, it's going to happen.
Dang. Well, let's go ahead and get into it. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. If you guys could, because it costs you nothing, if you could hit us with a like, hit us with a repost, share with your friends. We come to you live Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific time, to bring you the daily news nightly. So, how'd I do?
You almost got everything. Yeah.
What I miss?
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. I was looking at the camera thinking I must have got some sun today because the liver spots are coming out. My face looks red as hell.
It's just a tan. It's just a tan. I got a tan. You got a tan. We got tans.
Yes, I do tan well, but that first tan of the summer, it's a little rough, especially here in Arizona. And I forgot my fishing hat for work.
Mm-hmm.
All right, fresh data down. Let's see here, coming in at 3.38 trillion.
Almost to 3.5. Let's go.
Yeah, only down 0.2%. 176 billion. That's a lot of volume for a Friday. So that we're in that bull run territory. Bitcoin dominance dropping to 60.4. ETH pumping to 8.3. and still almost one GUI to send to ETH transactions. So still a lot of moves going on in the ETH realm. So we got Bitcoin at 102,991 flat on the 24-hour. We got Ethereum at 2337 up 6.3. XRP at 235 up 1.8. BNB at 671 up 7.6. Solana at 171 up 5.2. Doge at 2054 up 4.9. Cardano coming in at 77.8 up 1.2. And Tron at 2632 up 2.3. SWI in the 12th position at 397 down 0.6, but that's to be expected. It pumped too hard not to come back down a little bit. And I imagine Ethereum will be having its day, its retracement here soon also. All right, biggest gainers on the day. Jupiter. That's why when I looked at my portfolio earlier, I wasn't down so much. I didn't realize it pumped 15% today. Pepe at 14.3, Fartcoin at 10, Celestia up 10, Athena up 9, Polkadot up 9, Graph up almost 9, Litecoin. A lot of solid gainers for the day. Look at these weeklies though. That's nice to see right there. 27, 27, 12. Well, those are all ETH. Never mind. Here we go. 19, 12, another ETH. Damn, so many ETH. All right, let's look at the biggest losers. Story IP down 7.2, Virtuals down 5.9. Only makes sense after that massive pump it had yesterday. Leo token down 1.9, SWI down 0.6, Quant down 0.8. And then what is that? Stablecoin? We got a stablecoin down in the biggest losers, down 0.5. Very crazy. Very crazy. All right, let's look at the broader market. So today was a flat day. I mean, the Dow Jones 0.3% down, S&P 0.07. The NASDAQ was flat at 0. Russell K down 0.16. But the VIX is continuing to come down. This is what we want to see. Let's click on that. We want to see that to continue its downtrend. You know, back here is when freaking tariffs were announced. Where is it? Right here. Tariffs were announced, boom. But we have slowly been coming back down, and that is beautiful to see, especially for the stock market. So, but that's about it for the update.
Man, you caught me. You caught me. So let's do this.
Yeah, we're not on top of it tonight, guys. Sorry. It's Friday. We're both wore out. Long work weeks.
Yep, and I'll be at work at 5 o'clock tomorrow. So you'll see if we make it 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'll probably say GM tomorrow. But this week has been a whirlwind, I will say, to say the least.
Yeah, this weekend is definitely busy for me. Got to get that final push, get everything packed, and then live off of fast food and takeout for the next week until it's time to move. So
Sheesh.
I wish I could just do it all next weekend, but next weekend is the move. So I'm gonna be running everywhere starting Saturday. So
hit us with some hit us with a reset, and I'll hit the
all right. Everybody do us a favor, hit that like button, subscribe, notification bell. If you're on X, tag some DGens, give us a repost. We go live Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. PST, bringing you that daily news nightly.
Join us at Rare Evo, the top blockchain conference, August 6th through 10th, 2025, at Caesars Palace in Las Vegas. The top blockchain projects like Algorand, Midnight, HBAR, ICP, Thorchain, and Igon, and many more are going to be there. This is definitely a must for blockchain enthusiasts and fans. Use discount code CryptoNightly to save on your tickets and to support the channel. Don't miss it. We can't wait to see you there. It's going to be a blast. All right, here we go. So I saw this one actually last night, I saw this last night. right after the stream, and I thought it was funny. So, Desert, have you ever been to a Steak and Shake? Are you
I have
familiar?
not. That's going to be an East Coast thing.
Yeah, it might be an East Coast thing. I will say, Steak and Shake is kind of like a Waffle House. Yeah, you can be there at 3, 2, 1 o'clock in the morning, and you're probably wasted, and you'll see some strange things, but the food's good. They got smash burgers, and it's not that expensive, so it's kind of like the same idea. Me and my friends actually
I
call
like
Waffle
the fact that it says. I like the fact that it says beef tallow fries.
Oh, they're good. Like it's pretty good. But so what's going on is I saw this after the stream, and Steak and Shake is now accepting Bitcoin payments at all of the locations, and there was a Steak and Shake right by my house in Richmond, Kentucky. So we grew up here. My brother painted the table with his stomach and passed out on the table multiple times while we were growing up. And it was just one of those places. Like when you got there, it was magical.
Right.
You either got what you needed or you got some rest in public.
Right.
For the low cost of a milkshake. And then I thought this was funny. Crypto guy's problems in 2026. This guy's just trying to close his wallet, right, with all the cash in it. He can't. Hilarious. This is us, guys. This is gonna be us. Look at that.
Yep.
He can't fold it. He can't fold it. And then I saw this. This was pretty awesome. Real world assets RWA ecosystem overview. The top protocols are Chainlink, Stellar, and Ondo Finance. These are in the billions. But then the top movers are Maple Finance, IMO Invest, Zbeck HQ, Zabek, Kita Network, and Palm Economy. So this is bullish because Palm Economy, we have that. This is our bags. And the fact they were mentioned on this post, it's pretty bullish that it's up there with the big guys. I mean, look at that. They even have this awesome, beautiful figure showing. And even though it's the smallest, you have to understand that the ecosystem in Cardano is relatively smaller, specifically, especially when you're talking about like Chainlink and Ondo.
It just came out.
Yeah, very new. So this is bullish. We love this. This is great for our bags. And also shout out to Palm Economy. We love the team over there. They're doing some cool things.
And if you guys are holding Palm right now, I think MinSwap is giving like 189% APR to stake. So
we're in on that, to say the least. Yeah. So bullish Bitcoin hits 103.8K for the first time since January with 344,620 new wallets created amid rising FOMO. So that was interesting. This is bullish. This is a good sign for what's to come. And this
we've been bearish so long and poor so long that John didn't even know what that number was. Did you hear him pause? 344,000?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Well, we talked about this on the last stream. It's like once you get past like a certain amount of numbers, then I'm just like,
right.
It's just some numbers. But this was super cool, and I didn't know anything about this. And so I was reading this article, but PayPal Ventures backed Magic Labs just launched Newton, a platform for verifiable AI agents in crypto. I'm going to see if we can read this. It lets users automate tasks like portfolio rebalancing or reoccurring buys without giving up private keys. So every action is cryptographically verified to ensure the full user control. And I like this because when we think about things like our weekly DTA, right? One of the parts of actively managing that is the rebalancing. So like if something has like outsized gains and something has outsized losses, you might move some of those gains into the one with the biggest losses. So this is the kind of logic you could program into Magic Newton and have it actually manage your portfolio. So you wouldn't have to do that juggling back and forth manually. Now they're creating a system and working with PayPal so that you can actually have that be done on your behalf, but the way that you want it done. And then so there's a whole thread here about it. I just wanted to give you the quick hits. This was really cool to me.
What's up, Jay Coco?
Oh, shout out to Jay Coco. Big love to Jay Coco. Magic Bosses. That's what I'm talking about. We love it. So Magic Labs, check them out. And Newton, a platform for verifiable AI agents in crypto. We love that. And yeah, that's giving me a couple. Well, it's giving me a couple ideas anyways. But I wanted, so this is what I was going to glaze over as far as the Cardano drama. I recommend people follow Masato Alexander. If you guys check him out, you know, he's been having some fire. He's been really just like spitting fire at the Charles about all kinds of stuff and about IOG. He has this really big statement here, checked by Grok for verifying his like claims. There's a lot of evidence there. There's a lot of information there. You know, perspective still guides everything, but I would
it's a very bold statement.
Yeah.
And then when I seen the original tweet and Charles, I can't remember, Charles said something. And then this dude said, hey, let's go into a dark cave and see who comes out first. The way I read it was like a threat, like,
see, what happened was that Charles said, screw you, I'm going to send you a cease and desist order.
Yeah.
You're going to get sued for slander, blah, 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 blah. And then this guy came back 2 days later and he said, where's that cease and desist order at, baby? I got I got the receipts for what I'm talking about. But so apparently he didn't get that. But this is a really long article and explanation by Grok about like all of the claims that he made on his portfolio profile about the whole situation. It's a very bold claim. Definitely worth checking out if you're into the Cardano ecosystem, which most everybody is, but definitely worth being abreast of. And then I saw this, and this cracked me up. So this guy, so it turns out Masato or Alexander, he has Unsigned Algo, which is an NFT collection.
Right.
Okay. And then so the guy says, if IOHK has Masato Alexander killed, how much will my Unsigned Algo NFT be worth? And then so this was just so funny to me because then he commented, well, first we got Agentic T. Shout out to Talos, now known as Agentic T to the newbies. But Masato comes on and he says, an artist's work is usually more valuable after they die. So having me killed would kind of be like, and then he goes in to make another hit at IOG. But he says an MIR withdrawal for unsigned or
unsig holders. Yeah.
But so this is crazy. Die equals value go up. Murder equals value go way up. So this is funny. You know, they're taking it lightly, but I just thought that was just like such a wild twist and turn that I saw while I was perusing his account, and it just made me chuckle. Again, obviously nobody's killing anybody. This is not a serious allegation or threat going on here, but there was definitely some feelings. IOHK came out to put out a really big post about like what we needed to do and like the direction that we're going and things being positive and blah, blah, blah. But then I saw CB and he says, we're ready and buzzing to forge a sweeter path forward together. Buzz, buzz, save the bees. Shout out to CB. CB is a legend in the space. Yeah. We love CB. So when I saw this made me happy. There's just been, I don't know. I feel like a lot of times when you're building something, there are times when it's just not worth it to comment or to like get into petty squabbles. And so I feel like there's a lot of that because the bear market was pretty long and hard for a lot of people. So yes. And then again, Steak and Shake accepts Bitcoins at all locations starting May 16th. We love it. Brazil's B3 stock exchange to launch ETH and Sol futures on June 16th, pending regulation approval. And I saw this, and it says, "Does this look fragile?" And the guy is just pushing over this bot, and I was just thinking, like, man, he really is not concerned about the future of his like whole family bloodline.
Right.
Because
I'm waiting for the eyes to turn red on the bot.
Yeah, right. This reminded me of Crypto Zombie talking to Talos, when we had him. And so like this was basically Crypto Zombie, pushing the little robot around, and when Skynet comes, even though Talos said that it wasn't going to come for him, is it really not coming for him, or is that just what he said? Because imagine if we turned him off before he could complete what he was trying to do. But then I saw this ETH 200 or 2,250, and then we love this classic meme, so good, right? But still in last place, so that's hilarious. We love it. And then this was a quick summary of everything, but we've covered all the stuff. And then Rumble CEO says the company will launch Bitcoin and stablecoin wallet in Q3 this year.
Nice.
And then publicity stunt. Our, the master of stunts, Justin Sun, is finally blasting into space on Blue Origin. And you can join him. It's probably only going to be like at least $250,000 for a seat to go out there for like 10 minutes. So
yeah, that's probably about it.
Yeah. I mean, who doesn't want to bump elbows with this guy that paid 6 point something million, or maybe it was a little
banana
bit taped to the wall, and then he ate it.
That's funny. Yeah, but when you're a multi-billionaire, what's that?
I mean, you're right. It's just a banana,
It's just a banana.
At the end of the day, Yeah. But then I saw this too, and I just wanted to show this because I thought it was pretty impressive. But less than 10 days left in Treeverse Season 1. So Treeverse is a game that is on Stewie. It basically reminds me of but it looks pretty clean, right?
Yeah.
And so they have this on their page. Immutable X does. Darn, I said Sui, I'm pretty sure. But Immutable X, this looks pretty good. We keep talking about Immutable X and being like, what? We don't understand. Because I mean, we get it. It's a game chain, but where are these games? So seeing this makes me happy because it looks like pretty good quality game, right?
Yeah.
We like it.
But for being, like you said, well, they did come out with not Gods Unchained. That's I think it's Gods Unchained. It was out last cycle, but it was like a
Guild of
magic, huh?
Guild of Guardians, Gods Unchanged.
Yeah. It's like a Magic the Gathering game, but it's and then they came out with their own token. So that was like IMX's first big win. I remember when it came out last cycle and people were playing it. Some people made a lot of money because they were gifted the Gods token or IMX token or something like that.
Yep. So that was it for the most part. That was it. Those were the things that I wanted to cover. But yep, there we go. And then, I saw, I'm not going to cover it, but I reposted it on my account so you can check it out. There was a really great video of T-Pain in the booth singing for the first time the song. I think it was I can't remember the name of the song anymore, but where he rhymes Hamptons with Wisconsins the first time, right?
Yeah.
I believe it was the song Bartender, one of those big ones, in the earlier 2000s. And so or Mansion with Wisconsin, something like that. But I loved it. It was just funny because he's like, I think they say it like that. And then but then when you look back at like how big of a song that was when it was big, I feel like T-Pain only has like a handful of songs that were like great, and then everything else kind of sounded like those. But yeah, shout out to T-Pain, shout out to the early 2000s kind of like music scene. It was definitely like an era, it was a cultural time.
Yeah, it definitely was. I mean, there's a lot of it's weird how when you think back like that, when I think back to I think back to the 90s grunge, or 80s big hair,
yeah,
and those, and you can
well, see,
really,
I think of those too. I think of those too, but
you can really mark the change in the I don't want to say generation, but the change in the era.
Yeah.
Because when it, a gangster rap in the early 90s, well, late 80s, NWA. I was listening to NWA in the 80s.
Yeah.
I was young, but it came out, and then grunge scene, 92, 93, and then whatever the 2000s. The 2000s, I think of Three Doors Down and all them bands and stuff like that. Huh?
Nickelback, Papa Roach.
Yeah. Yep.
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 I just think it's funny, I'll hear these kids and they're like, I'm a grown-up. I was born in 2005. And I'm just thinking man, that was
just wait until the stuff you listen to as an adolescent or a young teenager is now on the classic rock station.
That'll be crazy.
It was crazy. This is years ago, and it was 6-7 years ago probably. I tuned in to the classic rock station, and then Guns N' Roses came on. I was like, classic rock? That's not classic rock. Aerosmith is classic rock. That's not classic rock. What are you talking about? Yeah, then they play some White Snake. I was like, oh my God, I'm so old. I feel so.
Yep.
All right, let's take a quick look at the market. There's really nothing to talk about, but we should show it real quick before we sign out of here for this Friday night.
Hit it.
Nothing? You got nothing?
Yeah, no, I didn't want to do it this time.
All right, let's check it. Let's check out Bitcoin. Boom. So coming in, we did have a red day in Bitcoin, but it's, just a little minuscule. It's actually like a spinning top almost. It wouldn't surprise me if we come back down and retest down here. But as it stands right now, we're just in a holding pattern. RSI is a little oversold on the daily. Stokes are still pointed to the upside. But as you see right here, we could go a couple of weeks with the Stokes being overbought, especially in a bull run. But it's not even a correction. It's just like a healthy pause in the market. You can't have candles like this constantly, boom, boom, and just keep going without some kind of consolidation like this. You know what I mean? We pump hard for 2 days, kind of consolidate up and to the right, pump hard. I would expect we'll see something similar to that, maybe a little dip. We do need to catch this 21. You guys, I know I sound like a broken record, but that's just how the maths. That's, what they are. They're like a magnet. Coming down to the 4 hour, and you can see the Stokes have pointed down. The RSI is coming down, and the price isn't falling. So it's just kind of like rounding, same thing. It's away from the 21. So we could see just a nice, calm Friday night, Saturday night. Maybe when, CME opens on Sunday and Asia wakes up Monday morning, which is Sunday for us, we start to see that pump. Remember, Sundays are extremely volatile. It's very sketchy trading on a Sunday night. So I think we're just, it's just the market is looking healthy is what I should say. Moving averages are pointed in the right direction. We're not getting crazy whipsaws. So coming down to SWE, same thing with SWE. We come down to the 4 hour and we're just kind of right here accumulating in between this 378 and this 417. Same thing on the 4 hour. The Stokes are pointed down. They're actually kind of rounding. So they're not just coming straight down. They're kind of rounding. We could see something like this. Like, see where we come down and it starts to round a little bit, and then we get that little bump, and then it comes back down. So it might be gearing up for another move. You guys know SWE kind of does its own thing. It kind of bucks the trend of most projects. We've seen it for the past, 8-9 months now. SWE just takes off craziness, as to where Cardano's quite the opposite. It's usually extremely boring and then just has an explosive move, and then is extremely boring, and then it'll have an explosive move. But same with Cardano. We're coming back. We're retesting the 77-cent SR level. It does seem to be holding for now. This is the 4 hour. Stokes are overbought. RSI is overbought. So I expect this to come back down just like the rest of them and curl back to the upside. But we'll probably just bounce around unless we lose 77 for like a couple of candles. I expect us to stay above this. But if we do start, because we're retesting it pretty hard right now in the 4 hour. If you look at that, wick. Every candle has wicked down to that area. So if it does eventually lose it, probably going to come back down to 74. But I see it's just kind of rolling out, letting the 21 catch up. And that's pretty much where we're at. There's nothing really pumping out of control. I mean, XRP's up 1% in the past 2.5 hours. That's not bad. SWE's up 1.5% in the past 2.5 hours. So Asia could be waking up and starting to buy into some stuff. But I think we are just in a nice, calm pattern. It's kind of nice. It's nice because we're up and we're moving sideways. We're not down and moving sideways, you know?
100%.
So it always does change the mood. But that's about it. We're not going to do a long stream tonight. It is Friday night, and we're both wiped out. I'll honestly say I wasn't really prepared for the stream tonight. I got home late. That's why there's no thumbnail, no nothing. Just kind of got home, took a shower, and got on here with John.
But we got it. We knocked it out. Thank you guys for joining us. We come to you live every Monday through Friday, Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific time. Bringing you the daily news nightly. And shout out to pumping your bag. We did.
No. You pump my bags, damn it. I'm still waiting for that DGen play.
Yeah.
And I don't want to lose money, bro.
All right. We'll see you guys on Monday. Peace out, Cub Scouts. Join us at Rare Evo, the top blockchain conference, August 6th through 10th, 2025, at Caesars Palace in Las Vegas. The top blockchain projects like Algorand, Midnight, HBAR, ICP, Thorchain, and Igon, and many more are going to be there. This is definitely a must for blockchain enthusiasts and fans. Use discount code CryptoNightly to save on your tickets and to support the channel. Don't miss it. We can't wait to see you there. It's going to be a blast.